Hello viewers, it's the main team and welcome to a StarCraft 2 match. This will be a 3-on-3. I will be in the purple Protoss uniform. My allies will be, as usual, Makalua, who is a Protoss player, and orange, and Puppies in the yellow trunks. Our opponents will be Beru, Teal, the June Pro, and Damien, probably that prince from South Park perhaps, who will screw your day. So right away, looks like we're going to lose because Teal has a lot of APM, and that just makes it impossible to win. No, but I haven't played in a long time, other than just occasionally 3-on-3s, so I'm going to be nowhere near as good as I was during my other StarCraft casts, but this is a little more casual, and most of the casts from now on will be teamers, mostly with Puppies and Makalua, but we'll see what else we can bring. Anyway, what am I doing here? I'm playing random, so I got Protoss. Don't know a lot about Protoss. Been working on the build order at least a little bit. This is Bronze League, 3 versus 3, and we are number 1 in our league in Bronze. So awesome. We are so pro at being terrible. So there you go. But we will probably be promoted soon since we've been winning a little bit more as of lately. Anyway, I could hide this, like this, and you guys would not be able to see how long the replay would take, but I am going to fast forward some of these slower parts of the game, I think. There's really not a lot going on in the early goings of these 3-on-3s, especially because none of us are high enough level to provide the instant and continuous action. Anyway, this is a mirror match, 2 Protoss and a Terran to either side, and you can see the production facilities going like so. Kind of strange to see an early forge build on the Protoss. Actually 2 forges and no gas. So, oh no, that's a gateway. I was gonna say, wow, okay. So I tried to click on the gateway and didn't, and just saw forge, and like, oh, 2 forges. No, but this is usually something you only see in early cannon play. There's no reason to get a forge this early if you are not intending for early cannons. But as you notice, they're not doing any proxy nonsense, no proxy pylons. So I'm not quite sure what Blue is thinking here. The only other reason you get a forge is for upgrades, but he doesn't have the gas, so he's just kind of blew some early minerals there. Very nice. Cybernetics core, this version's going much more standard. You'll see that I'm also getting cybernetics core and pumping out probes. Yeah. Not sure when to take the second gas. I think it depends on your build. But I like a lot of gateway stuff, so that's what I'll be going. A little bit too much money on here, Mackie, and get your next pylon out. Don't supply lock yourself, just as a comment there. Looking at MLS, he's going a factory into command center. This isn't very easily defensible if the other team goes for, in the early rush play actually. If you're going to tech build, you usually avoid a command center until after you're harassed and have a secure position, and it's more of a one-on-one strategy. But if the enemy doesn't rush us, it can be pulled off. Notice here that Blue is going for Stargate play rather than anything like a robotics facility, so we gotta keep our eyes on that. And Red is going the pretty standard, if a little bit awkwardly timed, barracks play with a mass supply depot wall. Man, if only we had Banelings. We could just supply lock him up the butt. Although he has a lot of excess supply, he's really pulling a lot of minerals on that wall. And since we didn't send early pressure, and if they'd scouted, they would have seen we were not doing any sort of pressure build. I mean, they would have seen MLS here, Puppies, going kind of tech and expansion play and been like, okay. Oh, he went starport? Where's his command center? Okay, I take it back. I thought he was building a command center, but I was wrong. He's building a starport, which is just fine. It's a straight up tech and harass build then. Not bad, a little gas heavy, but hey, if you're storing it for Banshees, that is perfect. I take back any criticism I have previously stated and accept being called a moron. Anyway, I'm going 4-gate because 4-gate means that you are a good player and is our good Protoss. And just working up from there. I'm also a little high on the resources. I'm trying to mitigate that. Working on upgrades and so forth. What I should be doing here probably is just getting more tech or spamming cannon. Being afraid of a drop. Okay, that is why I built them here. I was afraid of any drop play. Since I'm the person in front, a lot of people like flying air builds over here and dropping on my minerals. And this will pretty much curtail any chances of that with just a cannon or two. You know, if they try to sneak a medevac or something like that, they'll probably have to destroy the photon cannon first before going for my workers, or they're going to lose a lot of units for free, essentially. So no need there. And I decide to take an expansion, kind of blind. I should really be scouting better, although I do believe puppies here, it ran a scan of at least one of them. Maybe not. Okay, so yeah, that was a blind expand. Not the best move on my part, but you know, they're not pressuring us, so whatever. If we don't attack them, and it's very hard to get Mackie and Pumpies here to attack them in coordinated fashion with a timed build early in the game, other than like the most asinine of early rushes. We usually do have to go for macro play a little bit more in order to win, so that's what I tend to do. I'm still working on upgrades, chrono boosting them with my uberific 4-gate that everybody adores. This guy is also going 4-gate. He got his Twilight Council out sooner, and in the future I should do that as well. And yeah, this guy's just spamming Void Rays, which Puffy's called attention to. So good job there. If you're not planning to use the factories, you can get the Scout copying to Elite Pros. I like it. And why Reapers? I don't know about Reapers. It's a little late in the game for Reapers, although since this is bronze, we might get away with it. Switching off a Tech Lab onto a Reactor, most likely, or nothing. No, there we go, Reactor. I guess he wants some Vikings for the Void Rays, which is a good choice. Was expecting Banshee play from him, but he didn't get it out, so building up a little bit too many resources here. If you have this many resources, spam some production facilities. And also, moving over to the Units tab, this is probably a little undersaturated for both Mackie and MLS. You really want at least 2 per mineral patch, and then a little bit more, unless you're Zerg maybe. No, even if you're Zerg, maybe 2 per mineral patch, unless you're expanding and doing transfers. And for me, I'm a little undersaturated for 2 baits, but plenty saturated for 1, if you look at me here. Yeah, see, I have more than 20 on this base, 22 on this base still. Terran drops a sensor tower here, and I think more players should do that. Even pros are starting to do it from time to time, just to see any drop play incoming or anything like that. Might have wanted to place it a little bit differently, like so he would see things, shenanigans going on here, and maybe a little bit in the middle, so maybe 2 sensor towers or just 1 to see drops incoming, but that's not too bad. Mackie has picked up an observer. Yeah, these have a ton of Void Rays here. Kind of sad for this Protoss that he is not getting upgrades for them. He is, okay, I was going to say. So, I take it back again. He is getting upgrades for his Void Rays to improve them to some extent. And Red's just, working very standard Terran play, some infantry with tanks. Nothing wrong with that. And 4-gate units. Teal is definitely neglecting his upgrades. I'm already on ground weapons level 2 and working on Blink. Oh, I think I was getting Blink because of the Void Rays. That way I could Blink into them and wreck them. That was my logic there. Did I finally get a Twilight Council? I did. I think I even pick up a Temple Archives eventually. I guess that's a spoiler. But oh well. Going back over here. You gotta watch the supply lock. I really don't know Protoss anti-supply lock that well. Like, if you're just Terran, you can just constantly build supply depots with, like, 1 SCV, and that's usually good enough. And then you'll notice when it finishes, if you just leave him idle, you don't waypoint any orders to him. So that works with Terran. And with Zerg, I just played Zerg a lot in the past. As you notice, most of my channel at StarCraft has been towards 1-based Zerg play, so I didn't have to worry about that at all. And now, I don't know. Don't know about Protoss. I guess just stay ahead of the supply. Drop some pylons when you start getting close-ish. And now she's way ahead on supply, so she's found out quite a few pylons. Also, she's working on upgrades, so that's not too bad. Spending the money is always a good sign. Whoa, if you're going to expand, this is a good hint for anybody who's playing StarCraft at really any level, although the pros already know it. But if you're going to expand, start spamming out more production facilities in order to keep up with your increased income. Because, looking at his units, he probably has pretty good saturation by now. Oh no, I take that back. He still needs some more, but You know, on 2 bases, I would say your minimum is right around 50. Yeah, that'll give you 2 per supply. Yeah, the 32 for here and the another 12. You could get away with like the mid 40s, but I would say about 50 is right for 2 bases, and 25, 26 for an individual base. You really don't want to be under that if you're working a base, and you can keep building beyond that, even though it's not cost effective. If you plan on taking additional expansions, then you can just do a transfer. But if you're just planning on staying on the amount of bases you have, 25, 26 is fine. And I think even some of the pros go way too heavy on the workers because they get all this money and they can't re-macro, and they get stuck in situations where they can't re-macro in time and they start losing bases. Whereas a lot of the pros that I watch that actually win will have somewhere between 50 and 60 workers and have a higher supply army and will work with that. And that still gives you plenty of income. It lets you max out pretty quickly, and it's enough to work it's enough to work fully saturated 2 bases or partial saturation on 3 for a little bit more efficient income, and it just seems to work better overall. Anyway, red is preparing a drop up here, and you can see I am picking up some high Templar. I really wasn't sure how to deal with the Void Race, but I decided on a combination of Stalkers and high Templar to try and do that role. Looking over to the production tab, still a lot of upgrades coming. I'm now working on ground armor level 2. I'm definitely an upgrade whore. I copy Sci-StarCraft in that regard. Actually, I was doing that even before Sci-StarCraft in that regard because I love the upgrades. And yeah, that was also a big part of my gameplay in StarCraft 1. It was just staying ahead of opponents on upgrades. And anytime that a person neglected them, even a 1 upgrade advantage with a reasonably similar army is just going to trash your opposition. And it easily outperforms its cost. Like, 1 more unit versus an upgrade. Anytime you have more than the smallest amounts of supplies, the additional unit will lose the upgrades every time with even stack combinations. So June Pro here is moving out. He's at 0-0, and I am sitting pretty at 2 and 1 with my second upgrade coming quickly. I'm getting Zealot Charge since I do have a lot of Zealots. I picked up an Immortal. I forget my reasoning for it. I think I saw tanks or something along those lines that was threatening me. And here we go. I do pick this up. I mean, it's kind of hard not to notice this. And not really sure what his plans are here, why he's... Oh, okay. He decided to go up here to block my expansion. I decided to expand towards my opponent since they were being fairly non-aggressive. And I really didn't have any means to get over here. Mackie went over here, all with her probe. She was going to expand there, I think, but then chose not to. And yeah, okay, we're going to pause this right here. I am sitting on supply locked because I lost my Nexus and way too much money. And again, like, okay, I only have 51 workers and decent saturation. I can actually expand again. That's why I was expanding. And how many gateways do I have? I have 3 plus, yeah, I have like 7. I have 7 gateways, 4 and then another 3. And I'm drilling upgrades. Actually, I have even more than that. There are 6 here and 3 here, so I have 9 gateways, and I'm working on upgrades, and I still have a lot of money. So you really don't need that many harvesters. You just want like about 25, 26 a base, unless you are trying to work 3 bases or something. And I don't know about that though. That just seems a little overboard. Like, you'll max out faster, but then your maxed out amount will include like an extra 20 workers who cannot really fight effectively for you. Anyway, going back to this, looking at the units. For this engagement, my opponent is teal, so he's got 14 Zealots, 17 Stalkers, and a couple Sentries. I actually outstrip him in every category, and I'm up on upgrades, so this is a terrible point for him to engage, and this is going to show in a hurry. And I don't really need any of that like earlier. Although I do use some. I mean, I put up Guardian Shields. He spams. Wow, he spams. That's why his army looks so big. He was spamming illusions. While I spam Sci-Storm into his army, and then Mackie's army comes in and adds insult to the injury. So we essentially wiped him out completely. Meanwhile, over here, we have a large force of Void Rays coming along with a drop from Damien, and we were like, oh crap, we are out of position, and start heading back. I really need to have Mackie and MLS give me control so I can have them react more quickly. I had to wait here for her. Anyway, we are off. Puppy's base is getting annihilated by the Void Rays and the drop. So they hit us reasonably hard here. Again, though, they're a little bit behind on the upgrades with the Terran, and Protons are also slightly behind. He's at 111, I'm at 2-2. And yeah, that's just instant death. Lots of charged Void Rays, and Blue says GG-ish. Not quite sure what he's talking about, because I did not consider this game over yet. That's a lot of Void Rays, but I'm going to throw down some Storms here. And, yeah. Storms are fun. Storms are very fun combination with Stalkers, and I am spamming them, and my opponent is not microing. Whoops. So, we're actually on Skype when we play this game, so you're not going to see any text coordination on what we are doing, because we are working through Skype. So anything we're going to be saying is largely to the opponent. And they GG'd. I actually thought they were GG'ing because we were owning their army, but it turns out I think that the other side believed they'd won there. And the instant we took out that army, I'm like, we got to push. We got to push now. I produced some more units here because essentially we are up big time on army. Quite a few forces for both myself and for Mackie here, while they have very little. Like if you look at 16 Stalkers, a couple units, but really we're way ahead on army. But we're down bases. Puppy's got almost entirely annihilated. Yeah, he's at 46 over 11 on supply. Lots and lots of money. Get those production facilities up, Puppies. And really kind of hosed him in terms of an attack on his base. So we did have to worry about that. So basically, the enemy put us on a timer with that drop. But since we were able to kill their army, we had some ability to still be in the game. Yeah, they're deciding to wall us here. Drop a couple storms, completely annihilating. And it's time to blink in, I think. There we go. So annihilate the Marines, blink in on the Stalkers. And we once again sit on an upgrade advantage. Just a couple storms, since our opponents are not microing out of it at all to soften up their forces. I mean, if you're going to go spamming gateways, High Templar are pretty cool with their combination of feedback and side storm, and especially in 3 versus 3 where big forces really tend to clump up a lot, Colossi and High Templar are golden. But I had the gateway infrastructure in place already. And as you can see here, we are at least answering one base destruction on them. I've decided to go ahead and retake my third, so not too bad there. Ping. Oh yes, I'm pinging where he should scan so that we can take out the Dark Templar. So Puppies does have a presence in this fight after all, and he also had some Marines left over. So he's bringing something to the table while our opponents get their names swept completely. So if they thought it was GG in their favor before, they are probably having some doubts right around this point. Lots of workers for them, and look here again, we're pushing 70 Harvesters, but for what? What's he getting from it? And he didn't have the army strength because of it. Yeah, he's getting some Dark Templars out, but so what? Lots of money for him too, but he doesn't have anything. I ran out of minerals. I ran out of minerals because they denied this base and I didn't respond in time. So now I'm trying to get back there and saturate that. I'm still sitting on my 51 SCVs. I decided to stop with 2 essentially full bases running at any given moment, which seems to be good enough in this kind of situation. Sweeping there. Lots of money for us. I think Mackie also needs to expand again here. Maybe even take over Puppy's old base, or expand up here. I think she does come for here. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe she never gets that. But it is definitely time to expand. You are out of money. Your probes are doing nothing. You might as well expand and definitely get more production facilities. I want to see a lot more than just... the upgrades aren't bad, but a lot more gateways, a lot more robos, a lot more stargates, whatever you can. But plant some production facilities and start spamming out some units. Only good can come of that when you have that kind of money. And yeah, they're just harassing us with more Dark Templar, and Puppies is supporting the team with more scans. And we are pretty much working over Blue's main as well. So we have completely annihilated the main bases of each of our teams. And yeah, I need to get used to microing the High Templar, maybe even putting them on a separate control group. I was being really lazy and just shift tabbing to control my individual unit types. But regardless, pretty easy domination of their territories now. And I am bringing in more stalkers for support. Staying at 2-2 apparently, and they are harassing the Dark Templar yet again. Yeah, tanks. Tanks dying pretty much one stalker volley in these kinds of numbers, and they're not even sieged, so no fear there. Planetary Fortress, they start to try and repair it, and once again, storms for the win. Pretty much annihilating the repairing forces, although I really should be focusing down on Planetary Fortress. Come on, come on. Yeah, Planetary Fortress are really obnoxious. A lot of players really hate them because of it, but without any workers to repair, it will go down, and there it goes. Again, Teal did a pretty good job of re-macroing here. Unfortunately, he's kind of on his own now, because Blue doesn't really have anything to land, and those Dark Templar are not going to work against repeated scans. And yeah, Red's pretty much screwed over here. See his base forces now. Finally get some reinforcements coming from Puppies, who has remacroed his base as well. Still needs to spam up production facilities, man. When you have like 6,000 minerals, I want to see something like 10 barracks, or maybe like a mix of 5 barracks, and a bunch of like factories or starports, something like that. And yeah, now Mackie has a observer here, so these Dark Templar are not going to do anything to impress it. And the Immortals in particular, with their hardened shields, are going to ruin them. And now the opponent's GG out. This is a second exchange of good games in one game. Always fun. Always a pleasure. And Red no longer has any forces. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think I do start controlling these guys separately now. Not quite sure why this was pinged. I guess the presence of an enemy observer. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, just the Dark Shrine goodbye, as well as pretty much all of Teal's production facilities once again. So this is definitely a good game. That's just brutal, starring those pros. It's not like they can do anything. And sure enough, they don't, especially not against upgraded forces that do get to level 3 weapons. So pretty cost effective now for the gateway troops. And we're just going to sweep right through the remainder of the enemy forces. They will not leave the game. Why will they not leave the game? Like, this is clearly over now. It's not like our situation where we still have a large standing army. They have no bases and no army, essentially. A couple Dark Templar. I did lose some probes here to Dark Templar at some point, but ultimately I was able to warp in units to deal with them. Oh yeah, they sent some Void Rays over to my base as well. I'd forgotten about this, but eventually I could warp in just enough Stalkers to get the job done against these guys, and pretty much wear them down. And since that's their only remaining counterattack while we're carrying into their base, it is a very sad one-sided base race when I'm playing through those Void Rays counterattacking. So yeah, this is just goes to show that even those supposedly endgame forces of mass Void Rays can be taken down. And we rather soundly owned those Void Rays once we fought them as a team. And it was pretty much a 2-on-2 there since they crushed Fluffy in the face. No more cannons. And yeah, we do eventually clean up. They took out a couple of my production facilities, but I will just replace a pylon there eventually. Still mining strong here. Need another base, actually. Badly need another base. Yeah, I'm going to drop some pylons and cannons there as well. Come on, pylon, pylon. Although at this point it's just a hunt for their forces. So I'm going to speed this up because we were just looking for them. They really had nothing. Still has the 5 Dark Templar. I think they're running around here and we're chasing them, yeah. And we can see their little distortion as we're chasing them through here. And they just get more and more of them picked off. And now he's running through my base. Yeah, I guess it's pretty funny. And yeah, apparently Puppy finds the Teal base, so no issues there. And man, I did not drop cannons in time, so that sucks. But they decided to attack the Nexus. Not quite sure on the logic behind that. And we're just going to finally clean them up before they take down my Nexus. So no issues. Red finally quits out of the game. Teal has virtually nothing. Still a lot of money, but otherwise nothing. And he's going to get crushed by Marines rather easily. Oh, if you could have just gotten that probe. Get the probe. No. Okay, so there we win because Teal did not rebuild anything in time after Puppies wiped out his final Nexus. So that will be a good game. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, viewers, and I will see you in the next one. The Mean Team signing off.